Welcome back to another episode of Shy Talks, where we keep it real, raw, and straight to the point, okay? Today we're talking about something that a lot of us have thought, but might have been too scared to say out loud. But I'm not. Parents, y'all owe us therapy, okay? Period. A lot of us are out here trying to fix things that we didn't break. We're unpacking childhood wounds, trying to unlearn toxic behaviors, and figuring out how to be better than what we came from without a damn blueprint. And let's be real, it's freaking exhausting and draining, okay? Now, before anybody comes for me, let me be clear. This ain't about blaming parents just to blame them. But we have to talk about accountability because I did my best. Don't erase the damage. You had a roof over your head. Doesn't mean you were emotionally supported. And that's just how I was raised. Isn't a free pass to pass down trauma. So, if you've ever sat in a therapy connecting the dots between your childhood and the way you move in relationships, the way you talk to yourself, or the way you struggle with self worth, this episode is for you, okay? Let's get into it. All right. A lot of us grew up in homes where love had conditions, where we had to be perfect to get praise and mistakes meant punishment. Some of us had parents who made sure we had food on the table, but never made sure we felt safe enough to talk to them. And what happens? We grow up into adults who don't know how to ask for help, who feel guilty for resting, who don't even know how to accept love because we were taught that love had to be earned, not given freely, okay? Let's talk about emotional neglect because a lot of us experience it, but since our parents weren't bad in the traditional sense, we didn't even realize it was neglect. But when I was a child when a child grows up feeling unseen, unheard, or like their emotions are a burden, that's neglect. And the effects, you either grow up to be a people pleaser, constantly looking for validation, or you shut down completely and refuse to let anyone in. Let's be real. How many of us were taught to say, I'm sorry, but never actually receive an apology from the people who raised us? Just because they provided a roof and food doesn't mean they gave us what we needed emotionally, and now we're paying for it in therapy? What? One of the hardest things about healing from childhood trauma is when your parents act like it never happened. You try to bring up something that hurt you, and suddenly you're too sensitive. Or you hear, you had a good childhood. What are you talking about? Oh, and my favorite. After everything I did for you, this how you treat me? That's gaslighting. And it makes you question yourself, was it really that bad? Am I being dramatic? But let's be real. If something still affects you years later, it was that bad. And the fact that they don't want to acknowledge it doesn't mean it didn't happen. This is why a lot of us feel stuck between wanting to heal and feeling guilty for even bringing it up. Because we were taught to protect our parents' feelings more than they ever protected ours. And let's talk about the respect your elder culture because, listen, I believe in respect, but respect is a two-way street. Some of us were raised to believe that questioning anything our parents did was disrespectful. That standing up for yourself was talking back. But now, as adults, we're realizing that silence costs us our damn peace. So here's a question for y'all. Have you ever confronted your parents about something that hurt you? And if you did, how did they react? Did they actually listen or did they make it about themselves? DM me because I want to hear about your experience, okay? I really do. So, here's where it gets tricky. How do you heal when you're still their child? Because let's be real, not everybody can just cut their parents off, and not everybody wants to. Healing while still being in a relationship with your parents means setting boundaries. It means understanding that they may never apologize, they may never validate your experience, but you still deserve to heal anyway. I cut my mom off because That's my boundary. And she wasn't, she was not, um, what's the word? She was not respecting my boundaries. So I had to do what I had to do, okay? Sometimes the best thing you can do is accept that your parents did the best they could with what they knew. But that doesn't mean it was good enough. And it doesn't mean you have to carry their baggage. For some of us, that might mean loving them from a distance. That's what I'm doing now. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. For others, it might mean limiting certain conversations. And for a few, it might mean choosing yourself over maintaining a toxic relationship. One thing I had to learn is that I'm not responsible for fixing my parents. And you aren't either. Their healing is not your job. But what is your job? What is our job? Is breaking the cycle, making sure we don't pass the same hurt onto the next generation. Learning to reparent ourselves, to give ourselves the love, patience, and validation we didn't get as kids, okay? So I have an affirmation for you guys to say to yourself. I am not responsible for my parents' healing, but I am responsible for mine, period. Okay? So listen, healing is, I always say it, healing is ghetto. It's not fair that we have to clean up the mess we didn't make. But at the same time, what's the alternative? Staying stuck? Carrying resentment forever? Nah, we're choosing peace. We're choosing freedom, okay? And let's be real. Some of us might never get the apology we deserve. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But that apology is not what's going to set you free. Your healing is. So, thank y'all for rocking out with me, chilling with me, staying with me, listening to what I have to say. I want everybody to heal, okay? Because I'm still healing with certain things, and I want y'all to come on the journey with me because healing is not easy and you guys are not alone, okay? So, if this episode hit home for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, okay? DM me your thoughts. I want to hear your experience, your struggles, and how you're breaking the cycle. Let's keep this conversation going because healing is work. And you don't have to do it alone. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. And remember, this is Shy Talks, where we heal, we laugh, and we keep it all the way real, okay? See y'all next time. Later!